treasury's in good shape.
Yeah.
We don't actually quote unquote need the money, but we were also thinking about ways to do the raffle. There's no way that we can like order something and then ship it to whoever wins it, because
Right.
that gets a little bit much. Our thoughts might have been where we would increase the gift cards, and because I can do those emails, and because of doing it with an email, that we can also, if somebody wants iTunes rather than an Amazon, or if you want a Lowe's or Home Depot, I can take care of that too. It would give you more of a variety of the gift cards you can get with the raffle. And right
One
now we've
other
got,
question or one other suggestion. Have we ever thought about, people are hurting in the area. Is there some we could agree on, maybe a charity we could send them something?
That's a great idea. Especially right now, it would be good to send something to the
Food
the
pantry.
places that do food, the food banks.
Yeah, I mean,
That would
something
be-
like that. Is
That
it, I don't know, maybe you don't want to do that, but my
No,
my
that's
dues are
fine.
in there, and if you got enough money, we could give them a nominal amount at a minimum, just to show that we support them.
I would support that as well.
Me
I
too.
don't know about you, but I don't think we really need you to worry about raffles and everything. We can just have a big party once we can get back together.
Right.
Okay.
Let's
Well,
have a show of thumbs.
What'd you say?
okay, let's do a
Yeah, good idea. Thumbs up.
raise those
How's
hands
that?
if you want to do a donation to somebody for the food bank or something.
There you go.
Looks
Okay.
good
I
to
think
me.
a donation to a food bank is a good idea.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anybody want to make a suggestion, and I can take care of it.
Well, let's
There-
don't do anything until we have a council meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Dayton Food Bank.
Yeah,
would be
why
a
don't
good
you
one,
make
but
a suggestion?
Yeah, food. I like food bank.
But let the council pick one and make a suggestion to us, and we can do a thumbs up next meeting, maybe.
Should be
Okay,
local.
well, that'll be in
Should be something
January.
local.
Yeah, I agree. It ought to be local.
the Dayton Food Bank
Okay.
is a good example of something like they have. I've worked with them
Well,
before. They're great people.
Who's?
The
Who?
Dayton Food
With-
Bank.
With the holiday
Probably should be
season fast
sooner than later
approaching,
because
maybe the
all the
council
help
could just go
from the
ahead and do
government
it.
is gonna run out
You know,
day after Christmas.
Rich Kogler's got a point. It's the
Yeah.
holiday season. Now they're probably trying to buy turkeys and everything. If we could all agree, maybe something ought to be done now.
Well, let's let the council do it then.
Yeah,
I like
I
it for
agree.
Christmas.
Let's just say
Yeah,
council
yeah.
do something. How's that?
We don't have to approve it.
I agree.
I agree.
I
What,
agree.
I agree.
what
Thumbs
kind
up
of
again.
I agree.
what kind of an amount would you guys think is reasonable?
Up to you.
Right.
Government
100,
We'll
200?
figure that
runs out the day after Christmas.
Well,
We should
you
get-
know how much money you have and how much you need, so you guys decide.
We need to get the meeting started,
Go.
if that's all right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pound my gavel here that I don't have. There. You didn't hear that, but I just pounded my gavel.
Okay.
Welcome to meeting whatever number this is. Certainly glad to have everybody here today. We're gonna have a really good meeting today, I think. So we'll start off with a real quick welcome any new people. Is there anybody new here? I don't think there's anybody new. I think everybody's here I've seen before. So
Same old.
let's move into items for sale and do that first. Anybody have anything for sale they want to talk about? Dan, you got anything?
Got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, this week I've got cleaning out my closet here. I've got it doesn't show up too well. There it is. Okay, it's a
Bamboo.
Wacom tablet. It's a fairly small, but connects via USB, allows a pen input. I'm thinking like 20-25 bucks. And then for those of anybody out there with a well, it's not showing up.
You have to
I've
turn
got,
off your if you turn off your virtual background, it'll show up. It's your virtual
Yeah.
background.
well, then you see my house.
So
But
we get the idea.
I've got it's meant for a Mac Pro, either 4.1 or 5.1 graphics card. It's an upgrade from standard, but it's a little bit outdated, but probably 10 or 20 bucks. And then, if you need a cable adapter, let me know. Something. I've got a whole box full of stuff I'll give away.
Cool. I have one item. This is an Apple Pencil, the first generation. So this is the one that has the connector in the top, and it doesn't work on the newer iPad Pros. It doesn't work on the new iPad Air, but it does work on the older iPad. So if anybody's interested, 20 bucks, it's yours. I got the box and everything, but just send me a note if you're interested. Anybody else have anything?
How much do you want for it?
20.
All right.
Rick, I have an old phone and I don't really know whether it's worth anything or not. I think it's a 6, an iPhone 6.
Yep.
So if it's not worth anything, I'll donate it if someone wants it. I don't know.
What you can do,
Yeah.
there's a company that I've used before called Gazelle, Gazelle, something like that. And you can go on site and tell them what your phone is and the model, how much RAM and all that, and they will give you an offer to buy the phone from you. If you want to do that, they will actually send you a mailer. They'll send you a box with a stamp on it, everything, and you just send it back to them, and then you'll get a check in the mail.
Okay,
Now, if they
great.
don't think it's worth anything, they will tell you they won't give you
Yeah.
anything for it, but they still will recycle it.
Okay.
You can also, if they're not going to give you anything, you can take it over to the Apple store and they'll recycle.
Oh,
Okay.
Because Apple will recycle them as well. So either way, if you're going to recycle it, that's an option to get it recycled. I don't think
Okay.
Apple would give you any money for a 6, to be honest, but you can always
Yeah.
look at that too.
Well, I have
I-
two. I think one's a plus, and then this one is a 6. So if
And the
I
6
can
is
try
really
to,
old.
yeah, mine right now I have is an 8, and it's old too.
Now the 8s though still have value. You can still get trade-in value for an 8, but you can't
Yeah.
get much out of a 6.
I just checked the other day with an 8, and I think they offered me $90 for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I thought. Somewhere near 100, but I figured it'd be
I'm
something.
thinking about a new one, so that's good information.
See, what you could do is if you're gonna go in and do a trade-in on your 8, you can take both phones, and they'll take both phones and give you something, and then you use whatever you get out of both of them to buy your new phone.
Okay.
I just traded in a 6S, and they gave me $14 for it.
14 bucks. 6S. That's. See, I
14.
don't think the 6S's can even be updated anymore to the newer iOS. All right, let's move on to, unless somebody has something else, let's move on to help desk.
I have a portable printer that's
Oh.
right now working on battery. I'll give to anybody that would want it.
We can't see it, David.
Well, I'm trying to get it there. Just hold on.
Got
Yeah,
your
it's
virtual.
it's that virtual background.
Yeah, I had to turn mine off to show. Still can't see it, David.
Well, let's see. It's shining too much. I got it turned on. I'm going to turn it off and close
I
it.
can see it. It's a printer.
It's 7 years old. Bill was going to give me a link so I could get it on and running. He never sent me the link. Okay. And it's got a battery and it's on now. Anybody can have it. 7 years old. I upgraded. It's a HP Office Jet 150 mobile all-in-one. I got the HP Office Jet 250 all-in-one. So anybody that would like it can have it if it doesn't break.
Yeah, don't drop it.
So
Bill still has a whole bunch of cables too. If anybody needs cables. Dan, you're okay? Where'd Dan go?
There he is.
Would he fall out of his chair?
It looked that way.
Look that way, yeah.
Not saying anything, he might have.
Yeah, he's moving still, so.
Wyckoff, we're talking about you. Are you okay?
Oh, okay. No, I'm fine.
Okay.
My wife started playing some music, so I had to get up and close the door.
Yeah.
Rick, I have a question. How do you get these virtual backgrounds?
Well, if you go into the settings, the preferences on your device there, in your
On
go
the
to
Zoom
preferences,
preferences.
Zoom
yeah,
preference.
Zoom preferences,
Okay.
and you scroll down and you click on the virtual background tab, and then you pick one of the virtual backgrounds. Now the problem will be is if your Mac is
It's
really
background
not,
and filters. Background
yeah,
and filters.
yeah, background filters. If you got a really old Mac that's not got very much power, you may not be able to get it to work, but that's how you do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine is
Try it.
pretty old. 2011 is when I bought
It
this.
still may work. You can try it, but if it don't work, you'll know. And just say it don't work, and then so be
Okay.
it.
It won't
But
work with
there,
any
but
models older than 2012 and older. It will not work.
Really, I didn't know there was a date on it. That's interesting.
Okay, well, mine's
So
old.
there are
basically,
no
the graphics card
pictures
in those
there
models won't
initially.
support it.
You have to add them.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
another question. Somehow I got signed up with Zoom. I don't know how I did it, really, but my name comes up and my maiden name is on there, and I don't know if I just did that without even thinking. Uh, but somehow my maiden name is on there instead of my name I've had for 46 plus years. So I don't. Is there a way to go in and fix that?
Yeah, you have to go into your account on the web. So go to zoom.us,
Yep.
log into your account, and then look in the details in there on your account. There's a place for your profile. So look for your profile
Okay.
and see if you can change it there. You should be able to change it. Shauna, do you know? I'm sure you can change your name there somewhere.
Yeah, I think there's a preferred name possibly.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll play around there when I have time. Thank you.
You bet. Now, let's get on to the rest of the help desk. Anybody else have any help desk items they want to talk about today?
Yeah, Rick,
No.
this past week, my wife's iPhone 6S turned up to be a brick. She'd been having problems with it. After 5 years, we decided to get a new phone. My comment this morning is to just give people a reminder. Go into your phone settings and make sure that you are backing up either to iCloud or to your device, a MacBook or another laptop. And also make sure that if you have the checkbox checked that the backup is encrypted, you absolutely need to know what that password is. We didn't. After an hour and a half with Apple, we were able to get most of her photos and contacts back. But the process was fraught and not fun. So please be good about your backups.
Yeah, I'll add a couple comments to that. This is really important. If you're backing up to your Mac and you're backing up to the Mac to record all your data, you have to encrypt if you want to store your health data. So you have to turn on the encryption key if you want to store your health data in your backup. If you don't have the encryption turned on, it will not back up your health data. And a lot of people really care about their health data. So if you back up without the health data, you'll do a restore and you'll get your pictures and some of that stuff, but you may not get everything if you haven't got the encryption turned on. So that's something else to keep in mind.
And the Apple help desk lady, who was wonderful, said typically at the store when you first get the phone is the time when that checkbox gets checked.
Yep.
And in all of that rush that happens during the purchase, that is the time when we get out a piece of paper, we write down the password, and then lose it.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you
All right.
find that on your phone, the backup?
The backup's inside iCloud. You go into your name at the top. You go into iCloud. You scroll
Oh,
down. There's a thing for backup. You can click right there to turn backup on. Now, if you're backing up to iCloud, the password is your iCloud password.
right.
If you're backing up to the Mac, it'll ask for a password to encrypt on the Mac when you do the backup.
Okay. Thank you.
How do you get it to back up to your Mac? Because it used to pop up on iTunes and do it from there, but now it
It's
doesn't.
in Finder. It's in Finder.
Find it.
It's still on the Mac, but it's in Finder. And so when you connect your phone to the Mac, you go into Finder, and all that's right there. You can do it from inside Finder.
Okay.
I've
Something
only
else
done it
you need
once.
to do when you're going to get a new phone is make sure you turn off Find My iPhone or turn off Find My Phone or Mac or whatever in iCloud.
Yeah. Other questions?
Does that apply to my wife's new phone? Because we were not able to get rid of the old phone as a device.
You can go in on her phone. If that phone is still showing up as being her phone, she can go in and delete that. So if you go
Okay.
into the Apple support app or into iCloud, I don't remember which one. It's one or the
iCloud.
other. But you go in, you can actually scroll down, find the device, and say you don't have it no more, and it'll delete the device. And since it was bricked, you don't have to worry about the data. It was already bricked. So
Yeah. Thank you.
I am going to, can you hear me?
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Hi. I don't need help now, but I think I'm going to need help in a little while. This my old old um,
MacBook Pro.
yeah, this laptop Mac now will not even says it can't even connect to the internet. I don't know how to reinstall it to connect to the internet, but what I've realized is I probably will just have to buy a new laptop for other reasons, just because I need more capacity and so forth. So I might need your help when I have to transfer, um, other stuff from one laptop to another.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to be fun.
Well, I think you'll find out that these days that's not as bad as it used to be. Now I don't know what everybody else feels, but there are some ways to do that are really good. So I think you'll find that it's doable and it's not near as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
Hey, Hap, is that your 17-inch laptop?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. When you get a new one, there's software in the new one that will wirelessly transfer everything over.
Call Migration Assistant.
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
Migration Assistance in the Utilities folder, which is in the Applications folder. And when you start up your new one for the first time, it'll prompt you through that if you want to transfer data.
Well,
Or you can do it and back up your computer to a hard drive, external hard drive, and do it from there also.
Really
well,
nice.
I guess I will have to put a cable from
No,
the computer to the others, because this will not go on the internet anymore. I can't
it
access.
doesn't have to be on. It doesn't have to be on the internet. It just be able to connect to your Wi-Fi network in your house. That's all. It just
Oh,
that's it'll. Yeah, if it still
okay.
connects to your Wi-Fi network in your home,
Uh-huh.
then you can connect the two. It doesn't go to the internet. It goes strictly from one computer to the other through your Wi-Fi network.
It's a
Oh,
little
that's
ad hoc
wonderful.
network.
Pardon?
It's an ad hoc network. It works really nice.
Yes.
App, do you have it backed up any place?
Not this one.
Okay.
On my main computer, the one desk thing here that
Mhm.
I'm using, I have that all backed up. But
Well, make sure you get an external hard drive and do a complete backup to that.
yeah,
Either using Carbon Cloner or Super Duper or something like that, which will completely clone your internal hard drive in there and make it and turn it into a startup drive.
Yep.
Then before you do anything else, make sure you've got that computer backed up completely.
Oh, this one here.
No, the 15-inch or the 17-inch laptop.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you got all the data off of that before you do this, because if something goes wrong, and you never know, the hard drive could fail at any time.
Uh,
I've got a 17-inch and the video's completely gone out on it, and you can't connect to the internet with that either anymore. It's too old.
oh, so you're saying I need to get something to just back up this
You
thing
need to back
before
that up first before you do
Yeah.
any transfer of data to a new computer.
And
Exactly.
you said those devices are named what? That I
Oh,
buy.
the software is called Carbon Cloner or Super Duper. Super
Carbon
Duper,
copy cloner.
I'm sorry, Carbon Copy. And Super Duper, you can get a free one that you can do with that. But if you pay the $25, you can do scheduled backups and things like that.
Oh,
But do a search on the internet for Super Duper
okay.
or Carbon Copy Cloner, and make sure you get an external hard drive that's the same size or larger than the hard drive in your 17-inch laptop.
Okay. All right. All right.
And
Thank you very much.
I would suggest getting a solid state drive, because that's all the new technology now. They're more expensive, but they're faster.
All right.
So
Other
I
help desk.
continually for the backup.
What's that?
I use that continually for its backup, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
once
can.
get-
You can if you pay the $25.
Yeah.
You can set a schedule it to do a backup in the middle of the night, and then it'll turn your computer off for you if you want.
That's the way mine works. I got one set up on my MacBook,
Yeah.
my Mac Mini, and every night at midnight it does a full backup. And then I get a message, I get an email that says, I use Carbon Copy Cloner. And then I get an email that confirms the backup was successful. It tells me how much data it backed up, what time it did it, all that kind of stuff.
But it's always good for everybody to back up their Mac to an external drive using a cloning software, because if for some reason something happens to the internal hard drive in your Mac, you can use that external hard drive to start your computer up exactly the way it was the last time it backed up.
I agree. Carbon Copy Cloner saved my bacon numerous times.
Yep.
Same here. All
And
right.
that's in addition to using the regular backup that comes with the Mac system.
Right.
I just use Carbon Copy Cloner.
Yeah.
That's all I use too.
The difference
Well,
between the two is the Carbon Copy Cloner copies the exact everything that's on your hard drive. With your other backups, it's just backing up data, not your
Time
application.
machine.
You can't start up from that backup.
Yeah.
Well, I've had some problems with computer hard drives in the past, and when I've taken it into Apple for help and support, they've chosen Time Machine over the Carbon Copy Cloner backup that I had.
Oh.
So that's the only reason that I do both.
Right.
Time Machine is doing its thing all through the day, and Carbon Copy Cloner every night. And
like I said,
also,
that's
I have an offsite backup location where I do a Carbon Copy Cloner copy once a month, and then it gets stored off site. If something were to happen to my house, I would still have that backup survive, hopefully.
Yeah, well, you need a backup with an external hard drive. So if something does mechanically go wrong with the drive you're backing up, you can use that external drive to start your computer up.
Right.
Okay.
Redundant,
Well,
redundant.
I also have Time Machine on this large Mac.
Yeah.
However, I tried to delete some of the old Time Machine stuff, and it went bonkers. And so it would fill my, my trash can. I mean, it would go all night filling it with that stuff.
Yep.
And
just let Time Machine delete it as it needs to. What it will do, it'll fill up your whatever hard drive you're using, it'll fill it up, and then as it keeps backing up, it'll delete the oldest one.
Right.
So make sure you get a drive that's larger than your internal drive, so you don't really run out of room that much.
Well, I'm sure that this one is larger than internal drive, but I had to uh, plug it because I couldn't stop it from going into my trash.
Yeah,
And when I had the trash, I couldn't. It would go on all night doing
yeah,
that stuff.
yeah,
So
because
I
it will.
I-
Yeah, you don't want to. You really don't want to start doing that because it'll start deleting everything that comes in.
yeah.
You know, and it could wreak havoc on you.
Yeah.
Well, right now I've 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 had it off for a year because I couldn't handle it. So
All right.
it's
Let's move
thank you.
on to other items. I think if you're good, Hap, we'll go on to the next person.
Sure. And thank you.
You're welcome.
Rita?
Who else has something?
I do.
Well, my laptop is still closed. I mean, it's still inaccessible. I mean, I think um, it was supposed to. Someone was supposed to get with me and help me get out of it. But right now, this month, I started chemo yesterday.
Oh,
So this month, I really don't want to do anything about it. Maybe next month, when I get used to the chemo, maybe I can get with somebody to help me get into my laptop. But I forgot my password, and so I'm locked out.
All right. Was
So
that Bill? Was it Bill that was going to help you?
yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, he's not here today, but we'll talk to him. All right.
So
Yeah,
maybe
Richard.
maybe
Rita, do
next.
you have a question?
Yes, I had a question. I tried locking the icons on Dan's iPhone so he doesn't delete them by accident. And I did the same thing on his iPad and it worked. But when I do it on the iPhone, it's they still have the minus sign that he can delete, even though I've told it not to delete. So am I doing something wrong?
I'm missing something.
Okay.
Start over again because
Yeah.
I'm not following where the problem is.
Okay. On Dan's iPhone, he's in the nursing home at the moment.
Right, I knew that.
And he, with his fingers, will accidentally delete some of the icons from the phone. He
Yep.
deleted settings and contacts.
Yep.
Took me forever to get him back, but I got him back. But what I found was if I went to settings and then screen time, then to iTunes and App Store purchases, there's a spot marked deleting apps, and I marked it don't allow.
Yeah.
Restarted the iPad, it worked fine. Did the same thing in iPhone, restarted the phone, and it still comes up that the apps have the little minus sign.
Are you using the same iOS version on both?
Yeah, I think they are.
I know you can do that in accessibility. That's where I've always seen that before. It's in accessibility under settings, accessibility, because it's the thing they use to block it so nothing can be added or deleted. But I'm looking to see where that's at.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna have to look around, see if I can find that. I don't see that. I know it can be done.
Yeah, it would just make life easier because I can't get in to see him. So I have to play, I don't know what you want to even call it. I have to have the nurses bring the phone to the desk and then I have to go pick up the desk at the front door.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. Um,
Hey, Rick, while you're doing that, let me bring up something different. There's a new app out there for anybody that wants to be able to copy pictures or whatever off of your phone or your iPad, and it's called Copy That, and it's at maxsales.com. It's Old World Computing, and they just came out with it. So if you're interested in that, um, you can. It's called. Matter of fact, you can get it at the App Store, and it's called OWC Copy That. And you will need to have a proper connection to an external drive to be able to connect to your phone or your iPad. But for anybody that wanted to copy pictures and stuff off of their device, there's a new app out there for it.
cool. So I just posted that link that's from techbout.com. They basically say the same way you did it. And if it's not working, I would probably contact Apple because
Okay.
it should, according to this, it should work on the iPhone. I've never done it. I didn't know you could even do that in there, but
Mhm.
that app, they outlined it pretty clearly. So I would try it again, and if it don't work, then I would definitely contact
Yeah.
Apple and see if they can tell you why it's not working.
Well, Dan and I both have the same iPhone. That
Yeah,
way he has trouble. Hopefully I can find it.
yeah,
And it didn't work on my phone either.
that's really weird. I'd contact Apple
Okay.
unless somebody else has another idea. That's what I would do because it's supposed to work. You got the same version of the iOS? Yeah, iOS
Yeah.
14.
Yeah. We're
All right.
14, what, 14.2 or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah. We're about
what we
Monday. It'll
use,
be 14.3.
what we use at Incarnation or at the school is Apple Configurator. You set up profiles. And you can really go in and, you know,
Yes.
hey, these kids can't, look at anything, that's, 14 or under or over. You can lock all kinds of stuff with it, but that's, I don't know, that's probably overkill for what she needs.
Well,
Yeah.
the other thing that happens is that's why I said fat fingers. He'll call me, and when he goes to hang up, he somehow automatically calls me back.
Yep.
So it has something to do with
Maybe
the way he
touching a key.
swipes on it.
Yep. Motor skill thing. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
it. So I would try that. That's where I would go. If it was me, that's what I would do because it should work on the iPhone. It's supposed to be exact same way. That article I just posted in the chat lays it out very specifically, and it looks like exactly what you already said.
Okay.
So you might try that and give Apple a call and talk to their help support people. They're really
Okay.
good about this kind of thing.
With that automatic callback, what's probably happening is you're hanging up before he does, and then he thinks he has to hang up, but he doesn't.
Okay.
He just needs, if you hang up, it disconnects his connection.
Yeah.
And I've actually had it almost in reverse where he'll start to call me and it stops. I just get a blip of a ring, and then he'll call me again. So somehow in there I don't know if there's any way you can change that touch setting so that he
I
will
don't know
feel
any way
more
to change
comfortable with
that.
it.
All right. See, Richard, you got your hand up.
Yeah, it's getting tired. Um, it's not really a help issue. It's more under maybe the heading of news, which I didn't. I think we usually did that before we got to the help desk, but
Yeah, I jumped the gun.
it has to do with the new iPhone 12s, and there's been a lot of discussion on the internet about problems the 12s are having with connectivity to cell towers. So if you're driving along a highway, for example, and you're connected and you're on a phone call or you're transferring data or something, and then you switch to another.
Froze.
Back,
Yeah,
Rickard.
Richard, you froze.
We lost him.
Ah,
He exceeded his monthly bandwidth.
No, I don't know. That's never happened before. That's the first time I've seen that happen. But anyway, I was wondering if anybody had any more information about the extent of this problem, because a lot of recommendations I'm seeing are people saying you ought to hold off and don't upgrade to an iPhone 12 right now until Apple resolves this particular issue, because it seems to be more important, more significant than like there's some color problem with some of the screens and things like that. But not being able to get the connection or a reliable connection is much more significant nowadays.
Well, I can tell you this: I have an iPhone 12, and I have had no problems with my connection to the internet. Doesn't mean that I don't have I'm not lucky to get the right phone, but I just haven't seen an issue. And all the people I know that have them, I haven't talked to anybody that I personally talked to that has had the issue. Does the problem exist? Yes, there are people that have it. I think if you look at the total number of phones they've sold, I think it's a relatively small percentage, but I really don't know because I just have not encountered anybody that's had the problem personally.
Yeah.
But
All
that
right.
doesn't mean a
Well,
lot.
when you read about these things, you have no idea about how extensive the
Exactly.
problem is usually. And usually the people who are having the problem are more vocal about it, so that it gets multiplied by the media, and then you don't know, whether it's a massive problem or just a minor problem. And with my luck, I'd be one of the minor problem recipients. So
I will tell you this.
all right,
Hey,
thanks.
Rick.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, Rick.
Yes.
If you read the forums, the problem seems to be people on Verizon. And I have
that makes
tracked
sense.
this. I have a 12 for my husband and for myself. We're both on Sprint/T-Mobile, and we've had zero problems. As a matter of fact, I have wonderful reception. It's the best phone I've ever had. But Verizon
Same
people,
experience
it
I'm
has to
having.
do.
I'm on
Yeah.
AT&T. I'm on AT&T, and I've had zero. In fact, my 5G. I'm in Piqua, Ohio. We're talking a little dinky town. I'm getting 5G. I'm getting almost 200 gigs down on 5G in Piqua, Ohio. Give me a break. It's amazing.
I'm in Preble County. You can't be more rural than me. We're pretty the same, and we have 5G. I've had no problems, but the Verizon people, and it has to do with Verizon towers. I'm not sure the science, but that's what they're saying.
Yeah, there's an answer for you. I haven't heard that, but that makes sense. I was going to suggest you log into Apple's forums. If you go to the Apple support area of the Apple website, you can go into the forums and you can see what people are typing. So you can read what other people are experiencing if you want to read it. It can be a little overwhelming, but I'm not surprised it's one carrier, but it does happen, and they'll fix it. It's just a matter of how fast they can fix it.
They changed the antenna, right? Didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Lenore.
I'm just wondering, what anybody have any feelings about this MetroNet that is installing everywhere?
Anybody? I don't have any.
Haven't heard about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in Union and Englewood, and they have been busy for months installing poles and lines and all over the street. So it's called MetroNet, and we're tempted to like drop Spectrum and maybe try it for Wi-Fi. I don't know, but we hate to do new things. So I just wondered if anybody knew anything about MetroNet. So
No.
obviously not
heard of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either. I always say if somebody was in the area that was a competitor to Spectrum, I would consider it as long as they were fast enough.
Yeah.
But everybody that's here in Piqua that I've talked to, they're never fast enough. They're really slow data rates.
Yeah.
So I never have switched, but I would in a minute if somebody had the bandwidth.
I just brought up the MetroNet webpage, and it looks like they got fiber. They're talking.
they did.
Have 500 megabits per second.
That's
That's good. That's very good.
Oh yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
they did. They put in fiber optics through Inglewood and Union.
Yeah.
Now that's going to be better than Spectrum.
Okay. Well, the price is about the same, so.
Yeah, if you're
What
getting
we
about the
need
same
is
price,
help
but
with
you get-
rural net.
Yeah, you need that out there, Richard.
Hey, you need to get a satellite receiver.
I need my own satellite.
We'll talk to Elon about that.
Yeah.
Hey,
send him.
Putting thousands of them up.
hey,
I'll send.
Richard, if you go on YouTube, there's a guy who's actually bought one of those antennas. He's an electrical engineer, and he dissected this system. So he takes an antenna completely apart, shows you all the dipole. He shows you everything about how they built the antenna. So that'd be something you can waste your time on if you needed to.
Wow.
I need something else to waste my time on, right? Yeah.
Okay, other help desk items.
I got a
That'll do
question.
news.
Barb,
Sorry, I don't remember where I raised my hand on the dock
It's all
there.
right.
Several months ago, I ordered a CD through Amazon, and you could download to get it in the MP3, which I knew how to do that. I should have just waited for this CD. Well, it installed Amazon Music, which now I regret that it did that. I never found the MP3. The other thing is the music on our computer. I know Don backed it up onto some CDs and he put it onto a flash drive that he could use in the car. I go to the music folder and there's no music there. And I don't know if the Amazon Music did something with it. I thought I had been into it last year and my music was there, but there's no music in the iTunes folder now.
That's weird.
You have a
And
backup?
like I said, Don may have taken it off when he backed them up. I don't think so, but I don't know for sure. So
You
the
have a
music's on
backup
our
drive?
old computer. So
You have a backup drive?
no, I don't.
Hmm.
It's on our old computer, so all the music is there,
It
and a
still is
lot of
on
it
the
was
old,
just copied from CDs.
oh,
So
it's still on the old computer?
yeah,
Okay, well, you can get it off of there if you want.
yeah. So I've looked
Yeah.
at how I could get rid of that Amazon Music. I know there's uninstall, but from what I've read on the net, there are places it goes that you have to go in and get rid of it. So just
Yeah, I
a
would
something
research
that,
online. I have downloaded that app before by accident. It was a pain in the butt.
yeah.
But it's been a long time ago that I did that, and it took me a while to get it fixed back the way I wanted. But it can be done. You just have to work your way through it. I don't think it's what destroyed your collection, though. Mine didn't do that. Mine left there was a selection I could import them, but I didn't do it, and it's just been a long time ago, so I don't remember any other details than that.
Well, like I said,
Yeah,
most of the music was from CDs, so they're still around, and it is on our old computer. So it's
sure.
just kind of weird that it was all gone, and I don't think Don took it off, but maybe he did. I don't know. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Other items before we move on?
Okay, one more question. I got a message this last week that I should uninstall Flash Player. Is there a
Yeah.
value to uninstalling it?
They're just not supporting it anymore. So, if who's told you to, or where
It was
did the,
from, I think it was from Flash.
Yeah.
Player.
Adobe itself is no longer supporting
be-
it as of January 2021. It is a very easy way for malware to get on your computers because it's one of the #1 most hacked installers that is out there that installs malware.
yeah, do not do anything with something that pops up on your screen. If you have any kind of a software that will install applications off your computer, use that, but don't click on any pop-up that shows up, because that's how they do that. Is they get into they have you click on whatever they want you to click on, and then they can install malware while you're doing that. So make sure you use your own application removal software.
Okay, so if I go to Flash Player directly and uninstall it from there.
Yeah, I don't think you can uninstall it from the actual thing in system preferences. Let me look.
I thought you could.
I don't have it there anymore.
Yeah,
I don't have it either.
You could, for present thing, just go into system preferences, click on Flash Player, and then deauthorize this computer.
Okay.
But I'm looking to see if there's any kind of uninstall. Um, yeah, I don't see anything to uninstall it there, but you could probably use there is some software out there that does nothing but uninstall apps.
Okay.
Rick, what do you use?
For uninstalling,
Yeah.
Zapper or whatever it's called, it's just I just drag things to the Zapper and
Yeah.
it's an old one, but I still use it.
Well, Clean My Mac also gives you the capability to uninstall certain programs. Yeah.
Adobe also has an uninstaller. I just went to their webpage.
Oh, good. That'd be the best thing to use then.
Yeah, that's the best way if you can do that.
Hang on, I'll put this up here. All right, I'm going to share it to everybody.
Yeah, the main thing to know is anything that's still trying to use Flash really is just something that you should not be using anymore until the vendors find a replacement. Because after January, especially, there's going to be a lot of Flash installers still out there that try to get you to install them so you can use whatever it is you're trying to use that still depends on Flash. Vendors have known for well over a decade to stop using Flash and to change their products. And this is the third time Adobe has extended the date to end Flash support, but this time it's official.
Yep. I hate Flash. All right. Other help desk items. Let's move on to news. I didn't do news earlier because I didn't have an outline in front of me, but is there any big news anybody wants to talk about? Apple just released some very expensive headphones. If anybody wants to buy some really expensive headphones.
You want to go from iPod or this little tiny earbuds, or go to the big giant headphones?
Yeah, $549, I think it is.
Well,
so if you want those, you get your mortgage rates down.
Well, didn't they bought Beats, didn't they?
Yeah, they still own Beats. They're still making Beats headphones. This is just an Apple brand.
Oh, geez, I don't understand that.
Well, if you have hearing aids, the newer hearing aids will have Bluetooth, and when I go walking, I listen to tunes through my hearing aids.
That's great.
That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Other news items. Anybody have other news items they want to hit real quick? I think Apple's done launching new products for the rest of the year.
Fitness Plus starts on Monday.
Monday.
In case you guys want to exercise till you die.
In fact, you wearing those $500 earphones?
No, those aren't the $500 ones.
No, these are, I don't know, about $50, I think. I don't even know what they're.
iOS 14.3 will be released sometime between now and Monday, because you have to have that to do Fitness Plus, and Fitness Plus is coming out on Monday. So there'll be a big iOS update, iPad update, watch update. All that stuff's going to hit probably Monday morning sometime. And then it'll include all the stuff.
I've already updated.
Yeah, I've got.
I'm already at update.
Yeah, I've got it on mine too. But the Fitness Plus stuff's not there yet, but it'll be there Monday. Yeah. Anything else? Any other news items anybody wants to talk about?
No.
Well, let's take a short break. And if anybody needs to run to see their porta potty, you can do that, and then we'll start back up at 11 o'clock sharp. That's 10 minutes.
Okay.
And I'll have the presentation ready when you get back. All right, let's get started. We got 30 seconds, but I want to get going here.
Yep.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about your iPhone. And next time we'll be talking more about back on the Mac and talking about the operating systems there. But today I wanted to do something to talk about another big change in iOS 14 and why you should care. The home screen, if you think about it for a minute, the home screen on your iPhone has looked the same since it was launched in 2007. It's a grid of icons. It has not changed the whole time. It's just been this grid of icons. And I don't know how many icons you see, but I had a whole bunch of apps. It's not uncommon for me to have 600 apps on my phone. I'm an appaholic. So you just end up with grid after grid after grid of these app icons, but that's the way it's been since the start. So this year is the first year that there's been a big change to the home screen. And that's what we want to talk about today. And the way that they changed it is by implementing widgets. So this is a before and after look. On the left side is one of the screens on my iPhone. And on the right is a new screen on my iPhone where it's got widgets. And widgets are a whole different ballgame in terms of what they do and the functionality they provide and why you should use them. So we're going to walk through that a little bit today and try to make it make some sense. So the first thing you need to understand is if you've used the Apple Watch, watch complications are kind of like a version of this idea of widgets. I mean, if you look at that particular watch face, you see a whole bunch of information. I just finished a workout, so my heart rate was still slightly elevated. It was 69. My battery was at 88%. And then you can look down at the bottom, you can see where my rain status was at that particular moment in time. You can see what the temperature is outside, what the date is, how much noise there is going to my ears, or that type of things. So the idea of complications was a look into what's going on in a particular slice of time. They're dynamic. They give an indication of status, and that's been watch complications for a few years now. The watch was there for a while. And what Apple has done is they've taken this idea of watch complications and brought that to the iPhone last year first and then this year. So widgets bring that same idea to the iPhone. They bring something that's dynamic, that changes as time moves on, and they give you an indication of status. And you can mix widgets on a screen with icons. So this screen, for example, has a calendar app at the top. That's a widget for Fantastical. And then down at the bottom, there's two apps, Slack and Parlor. And I can have the apps mixed in with these widgets on my screen so that I can do a little bit of both. Now, why would you care? Why should you want to use widgets? I use widgets because they give me a glimpse into what's going on at a time, a moment in time, just like I do with complications on the watch. So we're going to walk through a bunch of examples today. I'll show you how you add widgets. I'll show you what some of them look like. I have a lot of examples to share, and I've overfilled my phone with widgets just so you can see what some of these look like. So, any questions so far? I can't see hands, so if you got something, you're just going to have to speak up.
I'm looking for them.
Thank you. All right. So what was the goal? What did Apple want to accomplish when they added widgets? This is what I think the goals of widgets is for the iPhone. Number one, to bring the functions of apps to the home screen. Now, they're not mini apps. A widget is not a mini app. It is not the full app. It is just a piece of the functionality of the app brought to the screen and put on the screen in a way that allows you to use that and understand some particular piece of information that might be relevant and timely. And so, for example, the calendar, the calendar widgets that I had on the screen a minute ago brought up what's next on my calendar, what kind of reminders I have coming up, a view of the calendar. It has a lot of stuff. That widget's really, really dense. But most widgets are single function. They don't do a lot of different things. They tend to have just one relevant, timely piece of information. And they add a lot of personalization. So I can personalize my iPhone using widgets so that I get the information that I want, or that you get the information that you want, because we may have very different goals of what we want to see. And so these are the three big goals that I think Apple had in mind when they brought widgets to the iPhone. So where do you find widgets? Well, first up, on your iPhone, if you swipe to the left to the Today view, which I'll show you in a minute, you will see widgets, a lot of widgets. That's all that's there. And on iOS 13, the widgets had a lot more functionality in terms of you could actually execute. So I had a widget last year that was a calculator, and I could actually use the calculator to actually perform calculations. The widgets in iOS 14 became more of a status window rather than a functional window. So there's some slight differences in the widgets in iOS 13 versus 14, and you'll see that in Today view. So if you have a widget from last year in the Today view, you may see some differences, and I'm not going to try to get into all the details, but they are there. And if you're in the Today view, you might see some of those differences. The home screen, though, is where the major update occurred, because now you can pull these widgets of all different sizes and shapes right onto your home screen, and you can combine apps and widgets, as I mentioned earlier, and that's what I'm going to show you in some of these examples. Okay, let's talk about some example widgets. Okay, the first concept I want to talk about is there's this new concept called stacks, widget stacks. Now you look at that widget at the top of the screen on all three iPhone pictures there. That is the same widget. It's a widget that has multiple widgets that you can see inside one stack. If I take my finger and I was to touch right there on the activity example there, and I scroll up, it scrolls through several different widgets. So the second widget it comes to is a calendar item. The next one it comes to is pictures. And I don't remember what the next ones are, but you can take a stack and you can flip through, and that widget has multiple functions. So it's like taking multiple widgets and stacking them on top of each other and just flicking your finger through them and looking at different widgets. Now notice the next thing down the screen, there's two side-by-side widgets. One is my battery status. So this looks at the status of my AirPods, my watch, my phone, and if I had it near me, maybe my case for my AirPods, things like that. Then the one beside that is the Apple weather widget, and that just shows the current weather conditions in Pipla at that time when I took the screenshot. The next one down is called CardioBot. This shows my heart rate when I was working out that particular morning, and so you can some people care more about that kind of stuff than others. I care about what my heart rate's doing, so this records that and shows it over time. I'm not sure that it's real accurate when I'm resting, but it's always really accurate when I'm exerting myself. So that's an example of this screen. I have multiple widgets on this screen. I have three that are the same all the time, and then the top one is that stack where I have 6 different widgets in that stack that I can rotate through and see different things. So on this screen, I think I can get a lot of information. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, that's examples of widgets and stacks. Now, stacks can be used a couple different ways. You can set a stack up, and I'll show you this when I show you how to create a stack. You can make them a smart stack, and they will automatically change what's on the display. I don't use them that way. I always have it go to the same place every time, so I keep the smart stack turned off. I always want it to default to the activities setting, and that's what I care about the most. So that's what I look at on that one. So this is an example of this is the widgets, that smart stack. This is the stuff that's in that smart stack. And I can turn the smart rotate on and it would automatically rotate through these, but I leave that turned off and I keep it on the fitness activity screen all the time. But you can see you can add a lot of different widgets to this one thing and see them. I got a world clock in there so I can see what time it is in London as well as what time it is here, or whatever, you know. So you get the idea. And that's called a stack. Here's another
Rick,
widget. Yes, ma'am.
Rick,
Yes.
back on
Yeah.
the last one in the smart stack, how do you add to the smart stack?
When you create the smart stack, you can add or delete as many as you want. I don't know how far you can take it. I thought it was only like 8 or 10, but you can add to it.
But how do you create it?
I'll show you that in a minute. I'm going to show you that in a minute.
Oh,
I'll show you that. I'm going to show you that in a few minutes.
Okay.
All right. All right. Widgets can get really big and extreme. This is the biggest widget I use. And I don't always keep it on my phone. I just put it in for demo purposes. This by the way, Bill Flynn's not 118 years old. So this is almost too much information. I mean, you can see the whole month laid out on the top. You can actually click on the different days and see what's on for that day, what's on for the next day. It's just really a big, busy widget. But, you know, this may be the kind of thing that you want to see. And some people love this widget. I find it too busy, but a lot of people really like this widget. But you could click the plus sign there and it'll take you to the app and you can add items to your calendar. So you can, you know, if you want to add an item, you can click the plus there and it'll take you to Fantastical, open the app, and then you can add an item to your calendar. Okay, adding widgets. Widgets aren't going to be any good if you can't add widgets to your screen. How do you do that? I really struggle with how I wanted to show this today. I think this is the best way because you can have this file afterwards and actually walk through it and try it. First thing you got to do is get into the jiggle mode. You remember, I don't know if you remember, but at the Worldwide Developers Conference this past year, that was so funny because Craig Federighi got up and he talked about going into the jiggle mode. And somebody created a song. It's on YouTube, and there's an address there. You can go to YouTube and listen to it. And it's called "Enter the Jiggle Mode," and it's a song. And it's got Craig doing this thing. It is funnier than hell. It is the funniest thing I've ever seen. So you have to start by going to the jiggle mode, and you press and hold on the screen. Like you can go down there where the dots are. You can press and hold that. It'll go into the jiggle mode. And that's the same mode that you get into when you want to add apps, delete apps rather. But here we're going to do it. We're going to add widgets. So when you do that, you're going to get the plus up in the upper left-hand corner. See that plus sign up there? When you're in the jiggle mode, you get that plus sign. That's where you go in and add widgets to your home screen. Now, I want to say a comment about when you add a widget to your home screen, it's going to take up space. So if your home screen is full, if the screen you want to add it to is full of a whole bunch of apps, it's going to push some of those to the next screen. So you might end up with a new screen. You could deal with that. You can move them around, but just be aware that you might end up creating a new screen when you add the widgets. Now, what I do when I hit the plus sign, now I'm gonna get a list in that second column there of the various widgets that are available to me. And I can scroll up and down in that screen and see the widgets that developers have made available on apps that I have on my phone. So Pedometer Plus Plus, I have that on my phone. I don't use it hardly ever anymore, but it's there. And they have a widget, and I could tap that widget, and if I selected it, it would drag it right onto my home screen, and I would have that widget on my home screen. That's what it's going to look like. I can add a Maps widget. I can add a Deliveries widget for the Deliveries app. Noto is a note-taking app. You get the idea. So you can add those. If you scroll on down, you'll get through all the pictures of the things, and then you'll just get to a list of all the different ones. But to create a smart stack, you would click smart stack, and from there it'll open up a smart stack, and inside there you can add or delete apps that you want to have in your smart stack.
Wow.
Now, I want to make a quick comment about Big Sur. I didn't want to just talk about just the iPhone today. I just wanted to mention that Big Sur added widgets. So when you do update to Big Sur, you have the ability to add widgets to your screen. And this is an example on Big Sur of widgets that I have on my Mac. And the widgets are on the left-hand side there. So there's a temperature widget, a battery widget. There's a calendar, a Fantastical calendar widget. Over on the left-hand side is a list of all the apps that have widgets that I could add to my screen. And if you pick one, then you can click small, medium, or large and tell which size widget you want, and then click it and add it to your widget list, and it'll show up on your screen if you do that. There's a link down at the bottom of the page there from macstories.net where they go into a lot of detail about how Big Sur widgets work. And I'm not going to cover that today. I just wanted you to be aware of it. It'll be a future discussion maybe or something, but you can do widgets now with Big Sur. And it's kind of cool. I don't know that everybody's going to use it, but you get the idea. So let's do some Q&A, and then I can always pull up some demos if you want to see some things. Did I answer questions that everybody had, I think? Now on the iPad, I want to mention that on the iPad, it's different. Apple did not allow you to add widgets to your home screen on the iPad. So this is my home screen. Widgets are over here on the side, and these are the widgets that I have on the iPad. But notice they're not on any of my other home screens. They don't have them there. So that to me is a real miss. I hope next year Apple adds that. In fact, I think they will, but you get the idea.
Rick, if you already have a folder on your desktop, can
Yes.
you make a widget with all the apps that are in that folder?
You can make a widget with any app that's on your phone. I don't think you can select the folder as the source of your widget. You'd have to go in and add you'd go in and add the
Apps
list.
individually?
You just like here, I click the plus sign, and then I'd have to go in and pick those apps and add them wherever I wanted them. But you'd have to pick them all one at a time. You couldn't just say make a group of widgets for everything here. It doesn't do that. You have to pick them out of the list.
Okay.
Which is this list right here. Now, if I click the smart,
Now,
here's the smart
do
stack.
all apps have widgets?
Not all. The developer has to enable it. So if I'm a developer and I want to do a favor for my users, I'm going to want to make it possible in most cases, because I think they really help and make the phone better. So I think most developers will do that over time. But it depends on the developer. If the developer doesn't do it, you won't get a widget. But I have noticed more and more coming online all the time. Now notice here I picked a smart stack. This was back to that question earlier. I could add a widget, and I can just keep adding widgets to this smart stack. So I'm in a smart stack, and I created it, and I got a whole bunch of stuff in there. I don't know how it selected that, to tell you the truth. It shouldn't have selected that. But you can go in now and you can modify that. So if I didn't want, I can move them around to where I want them and select which ones I want. I can turn on and off the smart selection. So I don't really like smart stacks as well as some people do. I use it just that one place, but then I can delete it by just clicking remove and it's gone. Other questions?
Yeah, Rick, this is Mark. You've given us a couple of examples, but I'm not sure I truly understand the efficiency of widgets compared to app switching.
Well, I think that depends on how you're using it. I think you have to experience it for more. When I'm on my device and I just pick up my phone and I want to see what the temperature is outside, I've got a widget that shows that. I could go find and open the weather app. Yes, I could do that. And maybe it's on my home screen. Usually the way I use the phone, I usually swipe down and I type WE, and then it jumps right to weather, and I pull it up and do whatever I want to do. But the advantage of the widget is I've got my widgets on my first two screens, and if I want to know the things that I care about, they're right there, and I can look at that screen. I don't have to start an app. I don't have to look for an app. I don't have to find an app. I just look at the widget, and it tells me the thing that I care about. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on how you use your device. I think that you have to experiment with widgets because not everybody's going to use it the same way that I do. I mean, for me, that's what it is. It's about seeing the information that I care about at a glance from that very first or second screen. I have a lot of widgets in the first and second screen, and if I want to see the information I care about, they're right there, and I don't have to go to an app. I don't have to open an app. I don't have to find an app. It's just right there, and the information I look for is right there on the screen in front of me. So if it's temperature, for example, it would show me temperature. If it's battery, I see one glance and I see what the battery is. If it's on the front screen, for example, if I want to see where I'm at on closing my reins, I can look at that one single screen. I see all that information inside one block right at the top of the screen, right up front. I can do that on my watch too, but I do it on my phone a lot. So that's what that's for. I have a widget. I have another widget that that sends a message to Teresa and tells her where I am. It uses a shortcut. So I use a shortcut, and shortcuts are a little program of sorts. And if I click that widget, it immediately sends a text message to Teresa and tells her where I'm at. Now, I don't use that as much as I used to use it because I don't go anywhere anymore. But the idea is that you can add all kinds of things to widgets to do things that are different. And that's just some of the things I do. I think you have to find what works for you. And I would just encourage you to add a few widgets and start toying with widgets and seeing what it can do for you. And maybe you'll find that it doesn't offer much for you, but for me, it has added a lot of value in how I use my phone.
Thanks.
Other questions, because we're really early.
You have to have one of the newer or newest iPhones to do this, right?
No, anything that'll run iOS 14 will do this. So that'll go all the way back to iPhone, I think 6S, but maybe it's a 7, but it's somewhere in there. So anything newer than that will run it, and as long as you can install iOS 14.
Yeah. Well, mine has iOS 11.6, I believe.
That's a little older. You won't run widgets on iOS 11.6.
Okay.
So you'd have to have a phone that can run iOS 14. Now, if you've got a phone that can run it, you just haven't updated it, then you could do that. But what phone do you have? What is it?
It's an SE. It's a brand new phone for me.
Oh, well, the SE. If it's the SE, the newer SE, it'll run iOS 14. You just have to install it.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So if you install iOS 14, it will run this. Now, if it's the old SE, the small, really old SE, that may not run it. I don't think so, but I know the newer SE, that's the iPhone 8 size, the same one that Bill has, that will run it.
Okay. Well, thanks for the info.
Other questions or comments or thoughts or?
Well, I'd like to say thanks, Rick, for taking care of the meeting today. I hope Bill is, whatever he's got, gets better.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Well, this is
All right.
interesting. I I think it's
Yeah.
helpful.
Well, I'll just try it. I think widgets are one of those pieces that it's kind of like the future of. I don't think I don't think we've seen the last of where widgets is going. I think widgets are going to continue to evolve. So next year, I expect them to get smarter, to allow more functionality. This right now, they're more a window into what's going on, and I expect this. Now I'm pontificating. I expect next year Apple will add more functionality to widgets, so they'll have the ability to do more functions. So I think we'll see a big move on widgets again next year. So it's just going to get better. At least if you're like me, it's better. I like things like this, so it's a good thing to me.
Rick, I got a question for you.
Yes,
I,
man. Yes, sir.
I have a XR and
Yeah.
I'm up to iOS 14, and Apple wants me to set up Apple Pay, and I didn't want to, and that's still uh, on the general. It shows I haven't completely finished the update.
Yep.
If I don't go to that Apple Pay thing, is that going to mess with my phone?
Nope. It'll continue to work fine. The so I mean, I know a lot of people that don't use Apple Pay, and I use it. I use it a lot, but I know a lot of people that don't use it. I understand, but I love the security of it, so I use it all the time.
Well, the comment is finish setting up your iPhone, and it has a red one.
Yeah,
I think you can click on it and then you can tell it to set it up later.
Yep, that's the best thing you can do. But
And then that one will go away.
Okay. Set it up later. That sounds good. All righty. Thank you.
Lenore's got a question.
Go ahead.
It was just a comment, Rick. These widgets, I appreciate you explaining all this. It's and like you said, some of us will use them more than others. If we've got time to just open the application, I'm tempted to just do that. But for those who need to work a little bit faster, but to me, as as a former newspaper writer, it's the widgets are like reading the headlines, you know. And if widgets are expanded, it just means that more and more we're going to have an opportunity to bypass full applications or full stories and just instantaneously use widgets to govern our life. Do you see that happening?
No, I mean, I guess, but I don't think so. I think the thing is, there will always be an opportunity to go into the full app if you want to use the full functionality of the app. And
Okay.
you will always need to do that for different things.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that you do every day
Yeah.
that you don't need the app for completely. You just need to know something specific, like what's the temperature outside, or what's the whatever. Yeah, they're so for those moments, widgets are really nice and really powerful. Does it mean that everybody's going to switch to using widgets? I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
And full apps will always have their place. But I think that if you're in the mode, if you're in the situation where you find yourself using a particular function of an app a lot, then
Yeah.
you might find that it's something to experiment with. If you don't ever find yourself in that mode, then I wouldn't do it. I would just continue to use the full app like you've been doing. But for me, I find that there are pieces of information that I get from an app that I don't need to open the app to get that piece of information. And I do it all the time. It's stuff that I do every day over and over and over again. So it depends on how you use your phone, I guess.
And I get that. There were some that somehow automatically went on, and I didn't know what they were, but I had appreciate them. Like, for example, the temperature and the battery percentage, and my calendar went on there.
Yeah.
I obviously allow that to happen, but all of a sudden with an update, I get, on Saturday, I have no more events for today. And then I get top stories, and I guess I've got a widget here that I don't know what it is. At the top, it gives me a minutes, like 52 minutes. Oh, that's my usage on my phone.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you giving all this, because I think I can vary the widgets and make it more efficient for me to find out specific things that I want in a hurry, like the temperature. I like to know what the temperature is.
See, and I think that's the thing. I like to know if it's going to rain.
Yeah.
So one of the things I care about the temperature, but I care even more about, is it about to rain?
Yeah.
So I use that kind of a thing a lot to see, is it going to rain the next hour? I want
Right.
to go for a walk. I want to take a long hike. Is it going to rain in the next hour or two?
Yeah.
So I use that kind of thing. But I think you have to find that thing, what it is you care about, and can you use a widget to do those things? And would it make your life better? Would it some way improve your relationship with your phone?
Yeah.
Because the bottom line is, you don't want to have to pick up your phone and be searching through, looking for an app. Go to the app, open the app, search for just for one little thing that you do all the time. You may want to use an app for a lot of other things, but maybe for something like that, you probably don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a opportunity there, maybe for many people, maybe not, but I think each person has to evaluate that for themselves.
Yeah.
If
Thank
you're
you very
really-
much.
If you're really into weather, there's an app called Dark Sky.
I love
Ooh.
Dark Sky.
It's amazingly accurate.
Oh,
Great.
It's
I use Dark Sky
$5,
because
and it's the best $5 you'll ever spend. It'll give you hour by hour, and it'll tell you when the rain's coming, and it'll show you how much rain, and you can see the feels like temperature, precipitation probability, amount of precipitation, wind speed, gust speed, humidity, cloud cover, barometric pressure, but it gives you an hour by hour, and it's amazingly accurate.
it's real accurate, and it's free now too, by the way, because Apple acquired them,
really?
and now it's free. And supposedly they're going to, over time, integrate that into their weather tools, but I don't know. They just updated the app. I mean, they just updated the app, but Apple owns that now, so you don't have to pay $5 now. It's free. The other really good one is called Carrot. Carrot Weather, and it's very much like Dark Sky, and its accuracy. The only thing is, it will verbally abuse you all the time. It just cracks me up. I mean, if you really like to have fun with an app, Carrot Weather is a little radical. I mean, it says things that you're just like, huh? What did you just say to me? Yeah. It is a little crazy, but it has that same level of accuracy. It's a subscription, and it's not cheap, but you can get a free level. But Dark Sky is amazing. I love Dark Sky.
Thanks, Bill.
Weather Underground is another good weather app.
Yeah.
Weather Underground.
Yeah, it's a good one too. I've used it as well. I'm a weather nerd, so I've tried them all. I really love weather apps. I've gone through way too many of them, but I really have stuck with, for me, it's two apps. I use Dark Sky and I use Carrot Weather, and I use Carrot primarily because I like how it comes up on the watch. It does a better job on the watch than Dark Sky does. Dark Sky is better on the phone, so I use them both.
Before we end, I was wondering if there's ever an update on Bill. We'd probably like to know. It's just a cold and not COVID, so.
Right.
Well, the text I got from him says not feeling well. He never expanded what it was.
Okay.
Let's see what we can find out. But
I looked up the app for Dark Sky Weather, and it's $3.99.
It should be free. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because they were giving it away. That's weird.
As of now, so I don't know.
That is weird because they made it free forever. Are you hang on a minute here.
Hey, if you really want to get nerdy with weather, go to aviation weather. It'll give you all kinds of stuff.
Well, I'm a little baffled. I don't know. It was free for a while. Maybe they've gone back to charging for it because Apple bought it. And but they want to increase their services revenue, so maybe they're charging for it now.
It says it's now part of Apple. Maybe that's why it costs something. Rick, how do you set up widgets on Big Sur?
Read that article that I posted. Just there's a link in the website in that article. When you get when they mail out the presentation, that Big Sur page at the bottom, there's a link. Go to that link and read. You can read all about there because I didn't really get into that today, but it's very much the same. You can add widgets and you can select your widgets and add them right to the home screen. So it's there, but if you want to read that article with detail, and I didn't get into that today, we'll do that on a separate time. All right. The Big Sur will support widgets.
Okay,
Rick, when I went into the app store and typed in dark sky, it came up dark sky, and then dark sky weather app free was one of the things listed there. So
there's something weird going on there. Mine says dark sky weather is by Apple. It's got Apple as the proprietor. Apple owns it, but since I already own it, it doesn't come up and say how much it costs. But the developer is listed as Apple. Let's see, where's my screen? So right here.
Is it dark sky 2 words or 1 word?
It's dark skies 2 words. It says dark sky weather, and the logo is this. There's the logo. So that's the logo.
Yeah, it tells me it's $3.99.
Yeah, if you do a search for dark sky, the other things that come up show dark sky, and then it says dark sky free.
Interesting.
Down farther?
Yeah, if you search on dark sky free, that'll come up.
Who's the developer on dark sky free?
Well,
that's the same.
Oh, I can't got something different. Some other guy.
There's dark skies.
Nope, it's just dark sky.
It's just dark sky. And they were free for a while, so maybe they've gone back to charging for it. So I'm going to have to do a little research on that. I'm curious. I
originally $5, and
try. Oh no, never mind. I was saying there is a dark sky weather app.
That's the one. That's the one. That's the main one.
But that does say $3.99.
Yeah, it used to be $4.99.
And it was free for a while because Apple did.
It
When they
was
first
free
bought
for
it,
a while, yeah.
When they first bought it, they were giving it away for free. But clearly, they've changed their mind. I'm a little bit perplexed, but it is what it is. I like dark sky. Even it's worth $3. It's worth $4. I paid $5 when I bought it, so it's worth every penny.
Is it a subscription or is it a one-time?
One-time charge. You can't get dark sky for the Mac, but you can get Carrot weather for the Mac, but it's $15.
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's a subscription too.
You can't get dark sky for Mac.
Yeah, strictly iOS.
Oh, it's meaning iPhone?
iPhone, iPad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Mac OS doesn't. They don't have an app for the Mac OS, but Carrot does.
Can you get it for your phone and your iPad for the same amount, or do you have to?
Yeah. You
buy
just
separate?
the
Buy it
app will
once.
show up.
Buy it once. It works on both.
But
You
did
don't
you
have
have
to
to
buy it
pay
once.
for it twice?
No, you buy it once.
Okay.
Just like any app, if you buy it, it shows up on both if you have both.
Okay.
All right. So go make some widgets. Have fun. We'll look forward to seeing everybody next month. Next month, like I said, I think we're going back to talking about Big Sur. I think next month.
Yeah.
Bill's doing that one.